Hey guys and gals, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and got an update on the Goofy cart. I've been able to spend a little bit of time out here in the shop today, and first thing you can notice right off the bat is I got some bigger tires on the front. These are not the ones we're using, but they are about the same size as what we're going to be using, and I needed to have the front end more or less where it's going to be to get things situated properly. And to get to that point and get things adjusted, I decided that I would go ahead and put a tack on my tie rod and on my drag link, and I have both of my radius rods tacked in place. This one I had done the other day with a flux core, and I've already ground that one down. This is one I did today using the MIG welder. What a difference. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. And so my front end is in pretty good shape. Now you'll notice I have 2 extra leaves sitting here. And the reason for that is I'm going to be adding them to my front end. Now that the frame is sitting full weight onto the suspension in the front, I have found that it's pretty bouncy, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, and that's with nobody in it. Of course, some of the weight is going to be transferred to the back end, and we're also going to have shock absorbers on it. But I think to stiffen it up some, that I am going to add the extra leaf. So I cut the other leaf spring that we had, and I'm going to be tapering the ends and giving them a similar shape to what they already had on the secondary leaf springs. And I'll probably cut this small one because it's the same size as the one that's on there already. But we'll cut this one down a little bit more, and then I'll cut this one a little bit more, and we'll have 4 leaves. And I think that'll stiffen it up substantially. Now you can see that I have changed the steering around again. This is about where it's going to stay. It's not the way I wanted it, but the way it's got to be. Just a matter of fitting things in. And as large as this go-kart looks, it really is quite tight, especially with a front engine. And that's what makes a lot of the difference. When you put your motor in the front, it takes away a lot of the places for your feet to go. So we're having to adjust things, move things around. I had this up here running parallel at the top, and I was going to flip the steering box around, which would have been nice, but by bringing that drag link up, there wasn't enough room for my leg to go down in here. I have a set of high top boots, and I brought that out here, and there wasn't enough room to get my foot in there and have any kind of clearance at all. So the way it is the way it is. And to stiffen up the steering box so it's just not flopping on those pillow blocks, we have a combination wrench here, or not a combination wrench, but a double-ended box wrench that's twisted and bent. And let me demonstrate it. It's not totally foolproof. Whoop. But the steering does work. There's a little bit of play in there, but we can live with that. So that's what's going to hold our steering. And if I tip up here, I have this coupler welded on, and I left it with a pin here so I could still pull the top shaft off if I have to. Our quick release hub is all welded on, so that the steering comes off and it locks in place so it's nice and solid. And I'm liking that. So now that the front suspension is mocked into place, and it's all just tacked, most of it, I'm going to take this whole unit down. I had Noah here earlier, and he was kind of jukey about getting up on my stands. As you can see, I have a couple of sawhorses in the back here with some wide pieces of wood going crosswise as well as front to back underneath to hold them all together in their space to get it level. And then on the front I just have it set up on one of these work stands. Same thing with a wide piece of wood so I get my wheels and stuff all on there. But I'm going to take it apart tomorrow because this puppy is pretty heavy, I gotta tell you. Just trying to lift the back end of the frame where there's nothing much on there because of all the weight of the motor and the steering box and the transmission and all that stuff. Even though it's pivoting on the front axle, it's still pretty heavy. So yeah, I'm going to take it all down, take the front suspension off. The motor's just sitting on there anyway, and I'm going to set it all up down on the ground, probably right over here in front of the door where it's the flattest. So now that way I'll be able to get in. So the next time you see it, she'll be sitting down on the ground, and maybe I'll be sitting in it, who knows. I have started mocking up the rear end a little bit, and let me take you off the stand and I'll bring you back there and give you just a quick shot of it. Here's the mock-up I have been doing. I actually had the wheels up here, but without hubs for them. These have 2-inch hubs on the wheels, and my axle shaft is 3/4 inch. And so I have this hub here that came off of, I think it was part of the drive system on a snowblower. And this disc brake, yeah, the disc fits in there pretty snug. It's not bad, but I'm going to get it perfectly centered, and I'm going to drill it and mount it in there. I just have it held in place with that sleeve. If I had a lathe, I could chuck this thing right in a lathe and turn it down. This collar here is 2 inches exactly, and it just slides in nice and snug there. But I have a couple other ideas how to make this happen anyway. But if I can get this set up on here, that will give me a place to mount my disc brake. I would have to figure out how to get my caliper mounted here. And of course we have our differential over on this side. And the way that's going to work, I think I'm just going to cut this wheel. This is the original wheel that bolts onto that hub. I think I'm just going to slice it and weld it right on the inside of that wheel. Make sure I get it lined up properly. And then I will have 4 bolt holes that I need to mount it to this hub, and that'll take care of that problem. And we have these coilover shocks that my friend sent me, and I just got to figure out exactly how I'm going to mount them. Don't know for sure, but they could get mounted right to the top. There's a bolt right there on that housing. I could bolt it right in there and figure out a way to bolt it up here on the frame. Shouldn't be too hard. And then I'll just have to come up with a panhard bar. So that's where we're at. And till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying we got beautiful weather going on and expecting it all week. The end of a beautiful day. It's about 60, 65 degrees, I guess. Hope it's good where you are. Thanks for watching. Almost looks like you're out in the country there, don't it? Except for the wire and the highway. Bye now.